I fear that he has made a move.
Oh yeah, he's made a huge move.
Don't worry.
He's made all the moves with his puke smoke. There it is.
Take me with you!
Take me with you.
I'm so sorry!
It's not your fault. Yeah.
None of
You're
us
dealing
were
with
able to
something
do
just
anything.
insane.
Kurogiri's quirk opens
This
up
paper bloodbending thing is just so crazy.
Oklahoma!
I love that Oklahoma smashes a tornado.
They're monsters!
Damn, it really makes it look so easy.
We were supposed to have a handle on these!
It's so much fun watching him fight. He lives up to the hype of number 2
Putting
hero.
a lot of stress on my power. Are you keeping up? Does it look like I'm having any trouble?
I love how his tone changes when All Might's there. A second ago he was complaining.
Right.
They make a good pair, oddly. Symbol of Peace. Wow, interesting title. That would be All Might, right? I'm legit worried for these heroes because I feel like some of them could lose their powers. They better not be best genist.
That blast should have annihilated.
Stop clapping. Oh, he saved everyone.
It's him.
You know by the opera music.
It's likely that his strength is comparable to All Might's.
Seems like it's in some ways beyond, especially considering All Might's weakened state.
Wasn't supposed to go like this. But that doesn't matter. A true hero doesn't believe in excuses!
All of them, man. All of them are just so amazing. No! Recovery girl. Recovery girl.
And practical experience, not
Recovery girl.
Who is this guy? What just happened?
Wait, he's fine, right? This is not what the students were expecting at all. Wait, Best Genius is fine though, right? He never had a chance to shine yet. I mean, he's shown as Bakugo's teacher, but no, there's recovery quirks. I refuse to believe.
My body won't move. What in the world?
This is, yeah, you can't prepare for this.
God,
This is something Bakugo can't really argue with.
That was so gross.
This black stuff reeks. I love it.
I love it, yeah.
You'll try again. That's why I brought your associates back with you. Even this child. Because you judged that he was an important piece on your game board.
He's like encouraging and condescending at the same time.
All of this is for you.
I somehow doubt that.
I have to remember why I'm here. Because my body couldn't
Tough
move
though,
back then.
given what you just witnessed.
Being scared is
Speaking
no
of
excuse.
conviction.
He's right there in front of me.
Come on, Deku,
I need
plan
to
C.
find a way to reach out to him.
It being the hands of reason.
I have to protect you.
Iida's just so key in this whole thing.
We have to get away.
Yeah. It's so amazing, like, how they were all so gung-ho until All For One showed up. Oh, whoops. Oh, it's All Might. It's insane that they're already fighting, wasting no time. What does this feel like for All Might, I wonder? You know, like, having already beaten this guy once and now facing him again when he's been planning. He's been accumulating power, knowing that you're in a weakened state. I mean, knowing what I know about All Might, he's probably not thinking about that, really. He's thinking about helping Bakugo. But the title of the episode is Symbol of Peace, and we know that the villain's motivation is to take down, or maybe even exploit, the images that the heroes have created. So, this is really dangerous territory for All Might. He might, in a way, be playing right into their hands. Although it's All Might, and I always, like, go wrong questioning him.
It's only 5 kilometers from the bar to here, and yet it was at least 30 seconds after I sent the Nomu that you arrived. You're
getting slower. 30 seconds. It's a long time.
He held All Might back with his bare hands.
Yeah.
This
Symbolically.
guy must be the boss villain.
Right, that's one way of putting it. A correct way of putting it.
I will take young Bakugo back.
Imagine what this means for Bakugo, too.
Of your sad life, right along with your despicable League of Villains!
And its terrible name. Oh, damn. He's got a quirk for that.
Air cannon plus spring-like limbs. Kinetic booster times 4.
It doesn't even seem fair, honestly. It's just too much.
Maybe a few more enhancers next time.
He's like a quirk connoisseur. And not only does he have multiple quirks, he can compound them in use, which is just crazy.
But if you can teleport, why don't you get us out of here?
I don't think you can talk to the villain that way.
My war power is still new, Magna. There is much I need to learn about it. I only transport people to and from my own location.
Okay, I feel like that's important. Exposition aside, it's interesting that he's sort of kind to his subordinates.
You're not thinking, Tomura. There remains much room for you to grow.
You're mine!
I wonder how much he actually cares about Shigaraki. I mean, I feel like he probably does on some level. Maybe even largely.
This is gonna be fun.
Honestly, though, the stakes for this fight are just so much bigger than Bakugo. The stakes are All Might, the symbol of peace.
They've got him surrounded, so he can't escape by himself.
He's doing a great job fighting all of them at once.
Coming for you!
I don't
Man,
think
he's
so,
like not really even putting up a
because
fight.
I am here.
Oh, we're gonna do him like that? Use his own line? That's dirty. That's the dirtiest thing so far. Oh yeah, and best genist. So he uses All Might's line, and interestingly, it feels like in some way that kind of seals it. You know, like there's all these parallels between the heroes and villains, and one of them, in this case, is All Might and Deku, and All for One and Shigaraki, right? They're both on these parallel, like, hero, mentor, pupil paths. And here, for the first time, we have All Might struggling. I mean, he struggled against the Nomu in season 1, but that felt different. This feels like All Might is losing to an All Might, you know, and that line almost feels like a passing of the guard. It's like something has been completed. We've gotten to a new stage. All for One is here, and it's more than just his physical presence. It's the whole thing that the villains have been building. They are now, for the first time in a while, actually the dominant force.
We can't let our emotions get the best of us.
This is a really tough
If
choice.
you know that you're breaking the rules, then you're acting like villains, not heroes.
Why did it have to be you two of all people?
The rules are not the thing for me.
As heroes in training, we're not allowed to fight. If there's an opening, an instant, we might have a chance to swoop in and grab Kachan. And if we can save him, All Might can use the full extent of his power.
Is that what it is? Is he holding back?
We can help him out of this.
Damn. Bakugo's kicking ass, though.
Can't fight. I won't let
No. We're past that. We're past that. Yeah. Run. Do some running. You're super fast, dude. You got a bunch of really powerful people here in this
Tell
room.
us your
Or
plan.
this outdoor area.
You're the key to this being a success.
Well, this is Kirishima's initiative, this whole thing, right? That fits. Meanwhile, Bakugo's fighting for his life, as is All Might.
Trying to keep the boy from being blown away. You put yourself
can't
in quite
keep this
the
up.
predicament.
I wonder if All for One knows that, or how much he knows.
It'll be hard for All Might to kick his ass as long as I'm here.
He knows,
Damn
dude.
it!
Get out. He can Azula fly.
Kachan will have realized the situation that All Might's in.
I agree.
I love how this relies on them all understanding each other.
But all things considered, there's not much risk to us. More importantly, it could change the tide of this fight.
Yeah. You can see that their priorities are in the right place, a lot of them. They started off in sort of weird territory, being driven by emotion, being motivated by a sense of helplessness, but something about this makes it feel more pure. Like, it's not about righting some imbalance they feel in their own hearts. It's about directly helping Bakugo. And it shows that it's not fear, for example, from Ida. It's not a desire for revenge. Even though they mentioned the law, I don't think it's actually about the law for them. I think it's about the risk that they would create by violating the law. So all of it feels much better than before. Look at Ida.
I'm in.
Yeah.
First, we'll propel ourselves using my quirk, combined with Ida's Recipro. Then, using Kirishima's hardening, we'll break through the wall. The second we've cleared it, Todoroki...
We'll freeze everyone and kill them. Oh, okay.
It's no good if I do it, or Todoroki, or Ida, or Yagorozu. Ever since school started, you've built
Is
a
it 'cause of
solid
their friendship?
relationship with Kachan as equals.
Wow.
If his friend calls to him, come on! He'll listen.
I brought you a suit at that party once. There you go. Damn, this feels so good that Bakugo actually, like, accepts our help. Hell yeah. From Kirishima, no less.
On my mark, you give us a giant...
Don't tell me what to do,
It feels so good to have him back, though.
Just as we thought. All eyes on them.
Well, it was a simple plan, all told, but very gratifying that he actually accepted their help. Yeah, there you go. Night Lady. Or whatever her name is.
Mount Lady!
Mount Lady.
The rescue's priority.
I mean, she took one for the team.
You've had a hard life, Tenko Shimura.
And Shigaraki really loves him.
I am here for you.
I am here.
No, I...
Don't forget your father. It's oddly touching coming from the villain and his pupil.
Inversion!
What just happened? What did he just save him from?
What a grand view you must have had from atop our sacrifices. A hero standing on the mountain of our defeats.
Yeah, I can't quite put my finger on exactly what it is, but I feel like there's something weird about that as well. What he said about All Might, like standing on their, their corpses or something like that. The show has things neatly placed into heroes and villains, right? But just trying to expand on that a little bit, I can imagine that being incredibly frustrating. First of all, if you want to like look past the simplicity of it, you ask yourself, well, what makes one group the heroes and one group the villains? And it's not self-evident that the hero class is the good class and that the villain class is the bad class. And this could be a huge stretch for the purposes of the show, but not all villains are going to be motivated the same way, just like not all heroes are going to be motivated the same way. You know, like you have heroes who are really out to help people and do the good that they can do, you also have heroes who are in it for the money and fame. And just like some of the villains are in it for really selfish motivations or just, you know, a hatred for society or something, some of the villains probably are in it because they feel like society is missing something and see themselves as justified. And though they may be doing terrible things in the name of these things, it doesn't mean that some of the causes they've recognized are legitimate problems that need to be addressed. And for those people, I can imagine it being especially embittering to see All Might on this pedestal after what he did was basically like smash all that out and put this glossy veneer on things. That feeds right into this innate sense that I think a lot of people have, including myself, where it's like, don't you see, you know, like, don't you see the problem? That can be incredibly lonely and really infuriating if you are branded as an enemy simply because you have a contrasting opinion and simply because your position is maybe more difficult or more nuanced or whatever. People do love making sides, you know, people do love putting people into hero camp or good guy camp, villain camp, bad guy camp. And by All Might doing that, not to say that he's wrong or that his cause is unjustified, he sort of sows the seeds, I think, for people like that to be even more emboldened or even more resolute in their estimations of the flaws of this kind of society. It's so dangerous. I feel like All for One is going to notice.
Himself.
Yeah.
You still won't fight me with your full power.
But he's not fully catching on.
You scoff at innocent people who are just trying to lead happy lives. It cannot continue.
It's over.
I
Is it?
want it!
He just smashed his life support mask.
I've heard that same exact line before, you know. From the person who had One for All before you, Nana Shimura.
Is he just not even real? What was going on? What is happening? What the hell? Is he even here? He said he was here, but starting to doubt it. Is this a Robro drone? So another awesome episode. Two great ones back to back. It really feels like the villains sort of ascending the throne in a way. I mean, they're not winning. They didn't dominate. They didn't accomplish their objectives with Bakugo, but the tone has just shifted, at least for me as the viewer. Like, they are here. All Might's game has sort of run its course in a way, and that feeling is just enhanced by the fact that we know he's physically weakened. Another really interesting thing about this episode is that it didn't occur to me before the depths of Shigaraki and All for One's relationship. They are an All Might Deku pair as well. It's a parallel thing. And I don't know enough about All for One to say that he cares about Shigaraki, although I suspect that, you know, probably that's in there. But the reverse is definitely true. Shigaraki loves him some All for One. All for One is for Shigaraki what All Might is for Deku, which is kind of exciting and also encapsulates some of the themes of this episode and what All for One is saying about people being left behind or like people being stepped on for success. It's not as rosy as people have been led to believe or have chosen to believe based on the images they've been given. There are things you can't slap a glossy veneer on forever. It just seems like the wheels are moving in society and things are not going to go back to that state. You know, they're going to go to some new state because problems will come out. You can't rely on your wishes of what things are forever or idealistic images of what things are forever. And I think the longer they're suppressed or the harder they're suppressed, the more severe the expression of those things when they finally come out. You know, that's true for society. I think it's also true for individuals. Superficial fixes to things make you vulnerable. And in this case, it's a vulnerability borne out by society right now as the heroes exploit the very same tools as the villains. And it's also a physical vulnerability for All Might, who's been putting on this image of perfection and never-ending heroism, who like can barely fight. Although it's All Might, so he can always fight. He always can channel it because he's amazing. And then finally, a very short scene, but just a great scene and a very rewarding scene, is Bakugo accepting Kirishima's hand on the escape. It's funny, but sort of fascinating to me how well Bakugo is developed, how much you see him softening up, despite very, very little change to his exterior. It's all sort of happening through action, rather than like dialogue or reflection or anything like that. He's paying attention and he's growing. He learned from Best Jeanist. He was definitely inspired by All Might being there to battle with him. You know, they're in a way fighting side by side, which is such an honor. And then recognizing his friend's attempt to help, it was Kirishima, who's his bro, you know, who's been his bro since the beginning, basically, and choosing to accept a helping hand. You know, it's in many ways very against what you might expect from Bakugo, given his interactions with people. But you can see the priorities shifting for him. And it's satisfying to me that he's not just the superficiality. He has very clear goals. He has actually a very nice North Star that makes those decisions make sense. It's all in all really great stuff. And I guess in some ways, this is probably just the beginning. This is just like the debut of this villain, right, coming out. So yeah, that's it for this time. I'll see you guys next time when Best Jeanist makes a full recovery thanks to Recovery Girl and patches up the fabric hole in her heart.